What will the Bay Area be like 25 years from now? Will there be fresh air for us to breathe?
Will traffic still be a problem when I'm old enough to drive? Will I even want to drive?
Should I be worried about climate change? Where will I work? Where will I live?
Imagine a Bay Area where people can get where they need to go, whether by foot, bicycle, car, bus, train, or ferry. Traffic moves smoothly on well-maintained roads. Kids walk to school, and everyone has easy access to transportation. Imagine a region that is leading the nation in climate protection. That's the vision for the year 2035, and we invite you to be a part of the journey to determine how best to get there.
Very often we do polls in the Bay Area, and we always ask people what's the biggest problem you face, and almost all the time they say traffic congestion. But when you think about it, traffic congestion is really not a cause, it's a result. It's a symptom of a problem we have where people are living too far away from their jobs and are commuting long distances.
So what's the plan for my future?
With global warming and climate change threatening our future, this update of the Bay Area's long-range transportation plan comes at a critical time. The Transportation 2035 plan is a blueprint for what we want the 9-county region's transportation system to look like for the next generation, and how we want to invest in that future. Here in the Bay Area, the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, in partnership with many other agencies, is coordinating the plan.
A simple way of looking at MTC is that we're the planner and the banker for the Bay Area transportation system. We work very closely with a number of sister regional agencies who have important roles to play. The Association of Bay Area Governments, which is right here in the same building as MTC, deals with housing and land use issues, and those are intimately related with our transportation system and how it works. BCDC, the Bay Conservation and Development Commission, is involved in planning around the waterfront of our region, and that happens to be where a lot of our transportation facilities are. And the Air Quality District, the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, is a close partner because one of the largest sources of air pollution in our region, the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in our region, is the transportation system and all the vehicles that drive on it.
So what's the next step?
With 7 million people in the Bay Area now and 2 million more by the year 2035, a lot of people are going to be affected by this plan. We need input from everyone to help decide how we're going to spend our transportation dollars and what kind of trade-offs we're willing to make. Our region is experiencing growing pains while our transportation system goes through aging pains, so we've got to figure out what to do. The Commission has agreed that the plan should be guided by 3 principles: supporting a strong economy, safeguarding the environment, and ensuring equity, the 3 E's.
We feel very strongly that all 3 of those values need to be protected in this plan. It does us no good to grow the economy at the expense of the environment.
In equity, we need to make sure that this plan addresses everybody's needs, regardless of their income level. And certainly what we don't want to do is have a plan that puts undue stress on any group of people.
That sounds good. So how much money are we talking about?
MTC estimates that roughly $222 billion in transportation funding will be available to the region over the next 25 years. A large portion of that money, about $192 billion, is already committed to projects that keep our current system running safely and smoothly. That includes running our buses, trains, and ferries every day, as well as maintaining the freeways and our local roads. This leaves $30 billion of what we call uncommitted funds, or money that's not yet spoken for. But we have huge funding shortfalls for our local streets and roads, public transit, and state highways. In fact, we could spend every last dollar we have on maintaining our system and still not fill every pothole, fix every bus, or maintain tracks for every train. And if we spend our $30 billion on shortfalls, we won't have anything left to invest in expanding and improving our system or other new priorities. There are many competing priorities. The region's carpool lane network is incomplete, as are our bicycle and pedestrian networks. Major freeway interchanges that were built in the 1950s are out of date, and there's an ever-growing need for more bus and train service in densely populated areas.
Decision. What's the best way to figure it all out?
To help make those investment trade-off decisions, we've organized our spending goals into 5 investment categories. The first is the additional funding needed to maintain and operate our local streets and roads, public transit systems, and state highways. The second is congestion relief, which emphasizes improving the performance of existing freeways and transit systems. Then there are emissions reduction strategies to cut down on the amount of carbon emissions and other pollutants from vehicles on the road. Focused growth includes efforts to develop housing and job centers around the region's public transit hubs and in the urban core to make the most of our existing infrastructure. And finally, access. Investments that ensure that the transportation system remains accessible to all Bay Area residents, regardless of income, age, or physical abilities. Our challenge now is to determine what portion of our budget we should invest in each of these 5 areas. The Bay Area has invested billions of dollars in its transportation system over the past several decades. The issue at hand is how much additional money we put towards maintaining and operating that system. We're asking you to help us determine what percentage of the $30 billion we should invest in this category. Every time you leave your car at home and walk, bike, or take public transit, you're helping to relieve congestion. Expanding the region's HOV network of carpool lanes will also help ease traffic. Other tools include the Freeway Service Patrol fleet of roving tow trucks on the region's major freeways that offer quick assistance to clear accidents, stalls, and other traffic disruptions.
I'm a high-tech kid. Can't we use technology to make traffic go faster?
One idea is having meters on the ramps of our freeways so that people are metered onto the freeway. They all don't rush on at once and cause the system to slow down too much.
The proposed pricing of carpool lanes has the benefit of being able to relieve congestion and to raise money.
But doesn't transportation cause pollution?
Transportation represents a significant source of air pollution here in the Bay Area. About half of our air pollutants in terms of contributing to smog come from transportation sources. That's our automobiles, our trucks, trains, everything contributes to about half of those emissions.
We're going to have to get people out of their automobiles by charging more, gasoline tax. And that's politically a challenge. But we will have to do an awful lot. We'll all have to do an awful lot as individuals too, in terms of how we use household products, whether or not we use our fireplaces for wood burning in the winter. There are profound changes that we do all have to make.
This housing and retail complex is another possible solution. Like many thoughtfully planned housing developments, this complex is within walking distance to the Redwood City Caltrain station and the adjoining Sequoia Station shopping center. It's just one example of focused growth, linking transportation to housing or retail developments.
Focused growth means priority development areas and priority conservation areas. And what we're trying to encourage is local communities, cities and counties, to decide where they think development is most appropriate in their communities.
The 5th investment category is access, or ensuring that everyone can use the transportation system to get where they need to go. That can be in the form of good pedestrian and bicycle access to transit, paratransit services, as well as affordable access to transportation for low-income residents. Already, we have many more ideas than money to spend. Over 900 projects from around the Bay Area are proposed for funding, and the total cost of all those projects is more than twice the $30 billion we have available. We've evaluated the performance and cost effectiveness of a number of proposed projects to see how they can help us achieve our transportation goals. Some projects perform well in relieving congestion, while others help reduce air pollution. Still others ensure equitable access to transportation or promote compact growth. Keeping in mind our vision of maintaining our roads and transit, we'll need to consider how well a project performs as we debate the trade-offs and decide how to allocate our transportation funds.
The public has a critical role to play here, if for no other reason that it's their money we're talking about. The public money at stake here in our uncommitted funding discussion is $30 billion. That's all tax money that the people of our region, the people of California and America make available to us. And so we think they ought to be involved to help us how to spend their money.